and many follow the tradition of unplugging from devices, at least for this one meal. I think anybody can do that, even if you don't follow the rest of Shabbat. It's a good thing to do once a week. And then there's many other rituals are added on the Friday night. But really Shabbat is 25 hours long. It begins before, just when sun is going down. It ends when you see 3 stars in the sky Saturday night. And the most traditional Shabbat is about stopping, refraining from all activity, from anything that's creative. The most traditional observant Jews do not drive, do not cook, do not wash clothes. All they do is just enjoy being in the space of Shabbat. And really, what is Shabbat about? So it says in the Torah, in the 5 books of Moses, that God created the world in 6 days. On the 7th day, God rested. And so one of our rabbis, the Baal Shem Tov, has this really interesting commentary. And he says, well, we know from our scriptures that one of God's names is Minucha, which means rest. So if God's name is rest, why are we also restless? And he answers that we're also restless because we've forgotten our true nature, which is peacefulness. And that Shabbat is there to remind us of our true nature and the fact that we're really peaceful inside, if we can only find that space. And Shabbat is about finding that space. And our liturgy is about reminding us of that. And both of Shabbat, we say Shabbat Shalom, which means a peaceful Shabbat. And we speak about the Exodus from Egypt throughout our Shabbat liturgy, exploring both freedom and peace. So I'd like to wish everybody a Shabbat Shalom. And the first song that our students are going to sing for us is Hine Matov Umanaim, which means, behold how good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to dwell, to sit together in unity, the perfect way to begin our evening. Continue with the blessing over our candles, the Shabbat candles. I'm now going to turn to page 5 in our prayer books, the smaller red books in the pews if you would like to follow along with us. We begin our Eve of Shabbat with the religious poem, the piyut, the song Shalom Aleichem. Peace to you, ministering angels. We are on page 5, the last third of the page.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachi Hasharet, Malachi Eyon, Mi Melech, Malchi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Poachem leshalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Eyon, Bimelech Malchi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leshalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Eyon, Mimelech Malchi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzeitichem l'shalom, Malachi Shalom, Malachi Eyon, Mimelech Malchi HaMalachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
We turn to page 10, Yedid Nefesh, an introductory psalm, religious poem taking us into the Shabbat, the Kabbalat Shabbat service, the Friday night service. Beloved of my soul, compassionate Father, draw me. We're on page 10. Turn to page 11. We begin our journey through the Psalms. There are 6 Psalms before the central prayer of our service, Lechadodi, corresponding to the days of the week, taking us back through the journey of our busy weeks towards the peace of Shabbat.
Lechu neranena l'Adonai, naria letzur yishenu, nikad mafanav b'toda, bizmirot naria lo. Ki gadol Adonai. 40 שנה קוד בדור ואומרם טועה לבבם והם לא ידעו דרכי אשר נשבעתי ויפים יבון אל מנוחתי. Next psalm is on page 13. שירו לאדוני שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ, שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, ועשרו מיום ליום ישועתו, ספרו בגויים כבודו, בכל העמים נפלאותיו, כגדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד, נורא הוא על כל אלוהים. כי כל אלוהי הממלים ואדוני שמיים עשה, עוד וידר לפניו עוז ותפארת במקדשו. אבו לאדוני משפחות העמים, אבו לאדוני כבוד ועוז, אבו לאדוני כבוד שמו. שאו מנחה ובואו לחצרותיו. לפני אדוני קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק וימים באמונתו. אדוני מלך תגל הארץ, ישמחו עם רבים.
That's exactly it. We're now going to turn to page 14, Yismechu Hashamayim. If you'd like to follow along in the transliteration of the Hebrew is written out in English phonetics. The bottom of page 14 in the red writing, Yismechu Hashamayim.
Yismechu Hashamayim.
לפני אדוני קיווה קיווה לשפוט הארץ, ישפוט תבל בצדק, בימים באמונתו. Page 15. Adonai malach tagel haaretz, yismechu im rabim.
On page 15, responsively in the English on the left-hand side, Adonai reigns, let the earth be glad, and many distant lands rejoice.
Clouds and thick darkness surround the divine. Righteousness and justice secure God's throne. Fire goes before God, consuming besiegers round about.
Flashes of lightning illumine the land, the earth watches and trembles, mountains melt like wax at the approach of Adonai, at the approach of the Master of all the earth.
This psalm concludes on page 16. The last lines, light is sown for the righteous and joy for the upright. Or zaru el atzadik uleishre lev simcha. Simchu tzadikim b'Adonai v'yodu lezecher kodesh. And on page 17, Shiru mizmor, shiru ladonai, shir chadash, ki niflaot asa. Hoshia lo yemino, uzeroa kodsho, di Adonai Yeshuato, liyenei agoyim gilat tzidkato, zachar chazdo ve'emunato, levet Yisrael ra'u chol achsei haaretz, et Yeshuat Eloheinu, hariu l'Adonai kol haaretz, pitzchu ve'ranenu v'zameru, zamru l'Adonai v'chinor v'kol zimrat, בחצות צרות וקול שופר, הריעו לבני המלך אדוני רם הים ומלואו, תבל ויושביה, נרות ימחאו כף, יחד הרים ירננו, לפני אדוני קיווה, לשפוט הארץ. ישפוט תבל בצדק וימים במישרים ידי די 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 Adonai malach yergezu amim, Yoshev keruvim tanu taretz. This psalm concludes on page 20, the last three lines. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu v'ishtachavu lahar kodsho ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu.
Please rise. We turn to page 21, our last psalm before Lechadodi, Psalm 29. Acclaim God, children of the divine. The voice of God thunders over the waters, shattering the trees. the mountains of Lebanon shaking like wild bulls, but also gifting us the peace of Shabbat.
Mizmor leDavid, havu l'Adonai ben Elim, havu l'Adonai, kavod va'oz. Havu l'Adonai kivod shemo, ishtachavu l'Adonai b'yad kodesh, kol Adonai al hamayim, et hakavod yirim, Adonai al mayim, mayim rabim, kol Adonai b'koach. Kol Adonai be'adar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, vayeshaber Adonai et arzei alvanon, vayarkidem kemo egel Livanon ve'Sirion kemo ben remim. Kol Adonai chosev le'avot esh, Kol Adonai achil midbar, yachil Adonai midbar kadesh, Kol Adonai cholel al yalot, vayecharor ye'arot, uvechalo kulo merkavod. Adonai lama bul yashava yeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yivorech et amo v'shalom. Dai 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 dai.
Please be seated. We are on page 23, Lecha Dodi, the hymn that welcomes in the Shabbat.
Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha dodi likrat kala, pnei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ishmi'anu elam yuchad. Adonai echad ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה, כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה. סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. מקדש מלך עיר מלוכה, קומיצי מתוך הפך הרב לך שבט בעמק הבכה, והוא יחמול עלייך חמלה. לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה. And we go directly to the last stanza on page 25. It's our custom to rise and face the entrance to greet the bride Shabbat. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, תוך אמוני עם סגולה, בואי חלה, לך דודי לקראת כלה, פני שבת נקבלה.
Please be seated. We turn to the Psalm for Shabbat. It is good to thank you. We are on page 27. Tov lehodot.
להגיד בבוקר חסדך ואמונתך בלילות טוב טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני.
טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני. ושמח לשמך היום, לשמך היום. ושמח לשמך היום.
טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני.
טוב להודות, טוב להודות לאדוני.
We turn to page 39a, which is the beginning of the second part of our service, the Mariv service, the evening service. We're on page 39a. Please rise for our call to worship as we unite in heart and mind. Page 39a.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך.
Baruch Adonai Morach Le'olam Va'ed.
ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
Please be seated and join me in a responsive reading in the most far left column of page 39a. Beloved are you, eternal God, by whose design the evening falls, by whose command dimensions open up and eons pass away, and stars spin in their orbits.
You set the rhythms of day and night, alteration of light and darkness, sings your creating word.
In rising sun and in spreading dusk, Creator of all, you are made manifest. Beloved are you, Adonai, for this hour of nightfall.
ומעביר יום ומביא לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו. אל חי וקיים, תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני, המריב הרבים. second bracha on page 40. Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amecha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, חוקים ומשפטים אותנו לימדת, על כן אדוני אלוהינו, בשוכבנו ובקומנו, נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך, ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגה יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. Impress these words of mine upon your heart and upon your soul. Bind them as a sign upon your hand and as a symbol above your eyes. Teach them to your children by speaking of them when you sit in your home, when you walk on your way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. Inscribe them upon the doorposts of your home and on your gates. Vayomer Adonai el Moshe lemor. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Continue through to page 44 in silent prayer.
Are you watching?
Why it's doing
Why it's what?
why it's doing the service.
Yes.
Oh no. That's one.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נהדר בקודש, נוראתי לא תוסף אלה, נוראתי לא תוסף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, פוקע ים לפני משה, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד. ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו. ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Turn to page 45. Hashkivenu Adonai, a prayer of peace prayer asking God to watch over us in the evening time as we head to sleep.
ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. פרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך, ברוך אתה אדוני, הפורס סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים.
Please rise. We're on page 46, the verses from the Torah commanding us in the observance of Shabbat.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי אהבת ויהי נפש. יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעלמה דברה קירותי, וימליך מלכותי בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בעגלה בעגלה, ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן. יש שמי רבה מברך, לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריך ולילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה נמירן בעלמא אמרו amen.
We now come to a part of our service where we have a few moments of silent prayer. We traditionally read the pages 47 through to page 52, but everyone is invited to have a few moments of prayer, meditation, contemplation. Our tradition is to do it standing.
Our silent prayer concludes with the words at the bottom of page 52. May the one who creates peace on high bring peace to us and to all Israel and all who dwell on earth. And we say Amen, and our students lead us in this song, Oseh Shalom.
Please be seated.
Except the children. And one more song in the mode of peace. The children will, one more selection, will sing Sim Shalom, Let There Be Peace.
Let us turn to the Kiddush, our blessing over the wine. We're on page 55. Please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho b'ahava uv'ratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh זכר ליציאת מצרים כי באנו בחרת ואותנו קידשת מקומים ושבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת.
Please be seated. Shabbat Shalom. There is one question that I think all religions and philosophies ask, and that is, what does it mean to be a good person? We have a custom in Judaism of every week reading a small portion of our Torah that we keep in the Ark for inspiration. And this week, what we are reading from in the book of Genesis is a story of when Abraham becomes very old and his son Isaac is not yet married. And back then, parents decided who their children would marry. And so Abraham decided to send his most trusted helper, Eliezer, to find a wife for his son Isaac. And so Eliezer sets out and travels because Abraham wanted him to go to a specific place. And he comes to see a city and pauses after many days of travel to rest. And the moment he arrives, he makes a little pact with God. And he says, well, God, I want to make my trip a little bit faster than what I expected. And let the first young lady who comes up and offers to give me water and to give my camels water, let that be the person for my son, for my master's son, Isaac. And sure enough, just at that very moment, all worked out very well for him. Rebecca approaches and she runs, and he runs up to her and asks her, well, can you give me some water? And he's but a stranger, but she says, yes. And she also then asks him, can I give water to your camels as well? And he immediately knows this is the right person. And so our rabbis over the ages who look more deeply into the words note that not only did she give him water, but he asked actually, just give me a little bit of water. He was polite. And she said, drink as much as you want. But not only did she say, drink as much as you want, but she also, according to a Moroccan commentator, the Or HaChaim, says she was watching him because she knows that when people travel through the desert and they're dehydrated, they sometimes drink too much. And so she was watching him, and there's a little interesting word in the Torah which shows that she's the one who stops him from drinking, but she could see she didn't want him to drink too much and become ill, and so she stopped him. She was paying that much attention to everything that he was doing, and then she ran and she gave water to the camels. And he was amazed because drawing enough water to give 10 camels water, can imagine that's a lot of water, a lot of work, and but she did it. And at the end of her doing this, he took out the jewelry, it was a custom all those thousands of years ago, and put the jewelry on top of her and said, I know you're the one. And not long after, she was going back to get married to Isaac. And so what do we see from all this episode? We see what a very kind person, Rebecca. That's how our tradition understands it. She was kind to offer a stranger water, to go out of her way. She was kind to be attentive to where he was and to think about him. And she was also kind to the animals. And she didn't grumble about giving water to all those camels, but she went out of her way to make sure everybody had what they needed. Not only that, but it says in the Torah, she hurried to do it. She was fast. She did it both with joy and with hurry. So it teaches us in our tradition how we all can be kind and all have moments to be kind to other people. And part of it is being attentive to other people where they are and trying to help them, seeing what their needs are, people and animals. And also to do with joy, to do it hurrying, and to do it with us, both with a smile on our face and an open heart, and doing our little piece to change the world. Shabbat Shalom. Let us turn to page 56, and we rise once again for Elena.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי ארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל עמונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד, אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד, ושמו אחד.
Please be seated. We turn now, as we approach the very end of our service, to the Mourner's Kaddish. This is a very distinctive prayer we have at the end of every service, and once a week on Shabbat, we remember the names of all of our beloved departed who passed away in the coming week through the years, and those who are observing that person's passing say the words. So this week we're observing the following yahrzeit: Leonard Bloom, Audrey Cohen, Ida Crystal, Isidore Gettner, Anna Goldstein, Mary Goose, Samuel Harris, Stephen Labby, Bernard Lee, Moses Lightstone, Philip Mann, Rose Meister, Stanford Menachov, Claire Morrison, Abraham Rose, Harry Sadoff, Rose Saven, Abraham Schultz, June Small, Marina Tsessis, Barry Weiss, Chaicha Wolfman, Edward Yalowitz. If you are observing a yahrzeit or in mourning, please rise and join me in these words. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divra keute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, Bagala v'zman kari v'imru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach leolam omer maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudusha b'richu le'ila minko b'chata v'shirata tush b'chata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'imru Amen. Yehei shlam harab min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'imru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'akol Yisrael v'imru Amen. So as we come towards the end of the service, I just would like to express words of thanks to all of our students for singing so beautifully and enriching our service. And please come back next week too. A few very short announcements this evening before I pass it over to our principal, David Schwartz, to share a few more words. Our regular services tomorrow at 10 a.m. we have our musical Shabbat, celebrating the anniversary of High and Carol Solomon. Sunday morning we have a Kabbalat class at 10:30. For more information, please see our website. And now our principal, David Schwartz, will share some words.
You guys worked really hard. You put in a lot of time with Mrs. Johnson to prepare for this evening, and it paid off. You guys sounded great, and you made our evening better, you made our worship experience better, so thank you. Thank you to you guys. Thank you to Mrs. Johnson for all of your work with the students in both communities. Thank you, Cantor Figa, for your work as well. And thank you, parents. Thank you for bringing your kids to all their lessons and bringing them tonight. We couldn't do this without you, and we're grateful to partner with you. Thank you also to Mrs. Rappaport, Mara Eileen, and Mrs. Crook for your support with our kids as well. So, some announcements about what's going to happen next. After the service is over, kids are going to go out this door and into the next room over. We're going to do some getting to know you activities. Parents, I encourage you to do your own getting to know you activities. When our activities are done, we will come back out and you will get some challah, which, for those of you unfamiliar with it, is delicious braided bread. And we will have individually wrapped to-go desserts for you to take as well. And then, Har Zion students, you are invited back tomorrow morning for junior congregation at 11 o'clock. Grace Lutheran students, you're welcome to come as well. So thank you all very much, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And the last song, or the second to the last song, is our traditional closer on page 211. This song is called Adon Olam, and part of it is a call and response. So I especially want to hear the kids, when they hear me, repeat what I say. I sing, and everybody else in the congregation. Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'shefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'acharei Kichlot HaKol, Levado Yimloch Nora Adon Olam, V'hu Haya, V'hu Over, V'hu Yeh B'tifara Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam, V'hu Echad, V'yein Sheni, Liyam Shelo Liachbira Adon Olam, B'li Reshit, B'li Tachlit, V'lo Ha'oz V'yam Yisra Adon Olam, V'yado Avkid Ruchi, V'yet Yishan V'ya'ira Adon Olam, V'imruchi Geriati, Adonai li velo ira Adon Olam, Adon Olam, Asher Malach, B'terem Kol, Yitzir Nivra, Leit Nasa, V'chefso Kol, Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Adon Olam. And our farewell song, the words say it, Shalom Chaverim, goodbye friends.
Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom, Shalom. Lehitrao, Lehitrao, Shalom, Shalom. Shalom Haverim, Shalom Haverim, Shalom.
Shalom Chavarim, Shalom
Haverim, Shalom, Shalom. Lehitrao, Lehitrao, Shalom,
Please rise for our closing blessing. Kadosh Baruch Hu, Holy One, blessed be He. On this special evening, may we all be blessed to share in kindness with others, with each other, and to help all those who are in need, wherever they are. And let us say, Amen.
Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May Adonai bless and protect you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May Adonai's countenance shine upon you. May Adonai bestow kindness upon you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom.
May Adonai's countenance be lifted towards you. May Adonai grant you peace. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat shalom.